Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. Welcome to the monthly Ascension Energies. Each month, I focus on a topic for our progression that Arion, the Lyran Council of Time, is guiding to support our ascension. And this video is a little different because we'll talk about the overall energies of the year and the January energies. And Arion has said that the first topic of the year is foundational. So it's one to keep in your heart and mind as the year progresses. And also be sure to like and subscribe so you follow the year's inner ascension work, and especially subscribe to my newsletter to go deeper into information that I don't share in the videos. So let's start by overviewing the year. And of course, we don't just stop one energy and start another. We are building on the progression of the energies before. Last year's focus of connection was helping us to deepen and detail the inner to the outer connection, the human to higher self connection, even physical to non-physical connection, so that we are applying the rules of the subtle realm more directly into our physical experience here on Earth. And last year, there was a lot of focus on the spiral, on Gabriel's horn, which began surfacing in 2020. And also entering the mouth of the dragon as we move deeper into connection, because the dragon represents mastery of all the elements, and that blend of physical and non-physical is very important for that empowered energy. Now, the overall energies that we are working on this year are wholeness. And with the spiral focus of last year, where we were connecting the infinite and the finite, that core work of ascension is us living the subtle realm rules as we navigate the physicality and the rules of conditionality. And now we're connecting that spiraling flow into wholeness, which is a spherical flow. And that means that we were focused on many of the core issues last year because that spiral is the core flow that's within the sphere. Now, this year, we are going to be more focused on movement through. And I'll detail this spherical flow a little bit more when I talk about the January energies. But this is also what Arion has been talking about with our tri-wave brain flow increasing, that we have the potential to amplify fuller right and left brain flow, as well as the frontal lobe connecting with the subconscious. And that activates the superconscious mind, and that helps to create the halo glow, because your head, your crown, your third eye, your throat, all of that is more active, and it's connected and supported by the heart. And that's what creates that coherence and that glow. Now, I've been shown that the first part of the year, I don't really know exact time frames, but the first part of the year is more mental and emotional realignment, so that you're understanding and experiencing wholeness more. And then the middle of the year is going to be a little bit more physically focused with grounding, integration, and alignment, more physicality. And then the last part of the year brings a lot more focus on time and more of the collective aspects into that greater wholeness and that greater flow within you. And some of the things that I've already seen coming up a lot this year is Egypt, and how we are integrating that fuller flow of time, because it's certainly not the only one, but it represents a more direct mental and emotional connection with the ancient past. And actually, also, before we dive into the January energies, I do want to let you know that my 2024 teaching schedule is on my website. So if you want to learn light language online with me, I will be teaching that twice in 2024, and that first class is available now so that you can amplify your subtle communication and create that more wholeness with your creation and communication with life. And then, of course, I'm also teaching crystalline soul healing online, and that is a Lyran template healing modality. It's very different than light language. It's a silent modality that not only powerfully heals, but it also teaches you and it aligns you more with universal law. So it's a big part of our ascension, our new paradigm of healing and creating. And I'll put a link in the description below to both of those so that you can take advantage of the early discounts. Now, let's talk about the January energies. And remember, Ariane said the January focus is foundational for the overall year. And it is ultimately a foundational topic for our ascension journey. The focus for January is the state of being. And this is a powerful creative state. When you are in a state of being, instead of just doing, you are more actively and consciously connected to your higher self, to the broader flow of life. You're in a state of greater wholeness. And of course, doing is part of physicality. You are meant to create, take action in physical time space. But the state of being is more neutral, balanced, and present as you are doing, as you're taking action and moving through time. It's you experiencing more deeply, which also means, and you probably know what I'm about to say because Ariane says it all the time, it means that you're getting your energy into this world more because you are more present and more fully interactive with your moment. The state of being is the peace that passes all understanding. When you're in a state of being, you are allowing life to flow to you and through you more, no matter what's going on. You have a more coherent energy field. The heart-mind is connected better. And that is the spherical flow that I mentioned. Your core is stronger. That's that spiral focus that we had detailed into for a long time. It's also why I do crystalline soul healing, because the clarity and the strength in your core flow amplifies your coherence, and it amplifies the power of your electromagnetic field. The vision that I was shown overall for this year as wholeness brings amplified spherical flow, that the energy is moving and connecting with your energy field. And because you're coherent, there's a lot of processing and transformation that goes on naturally because it's interacting with a strong, clear flow of love. Doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but that's what that spherical flow is all about. And this is why Ariane reminds us that we don't just hear or see something. We actually take it in. We receive it. It becomes part of our information. And the state of being is how you navigate those ups and downs of life with an open mind and an open heart. That's that spherical flow where the information is more able to touch the loving information of your heart. And that allows the new to move through you, not just the unconscious programming to repeat and repeat by holding on to it, making that kind of dense within you and inhibiting more of that spherical flow. And of course, maybe you get a little stuck on something for a while, or it's not time yet to deal with something or process through something. Give yourself a break, but then buckle down as soon as possible. That's the duality, right? So moving through and observing any of that fear or pain or resentment, whether it's yours or things that you're seeing going on in the world around you, and letting that brilliant heart and mind shift those so that you are in that state of being. And nothing is blocking that peace that passes all understanding, even if momentarily, whatever that time frame means, you have those emotional and mental reactions. You don't want to avoid those. You want to let them transform. That's your state of being. Then your tri-wave brain flow opens your superconscious to connect you more with future potentials that are now possible because you didn't just get stuck in that loop of what was. And watch the card reading that I did for this quarter because, of course, it supports this really well. When you are in a state of being, you are in a deep trust of yourself and of life to create, to change. That is the power of your human higher self connected and interacting with life. That's the flow of wholeness. It's your creative power. Now, the light language and crystalline soul healing transmission had a lot of heart-mind connection so that your brilliant mind is following the heart and that it's offering your heart a path of creation and physicality. There was also a lot of masculine, feminine energy balance so that as a loving one, you are directing your actions and you're nurturing your intuitive pre-manifestation flow so that you're holding those potentials to manifest here in physicality. And interestingly, Hatshepsut came up during the transmission as well. And Egypt has been surfacing a lot throughout this past year or so because it holds a lot of information for us close to our consciousness. And especially as we tap into our own Zep Tepi energy and return ourselves individually and collectively into greater activated DNA, which we often first start to notice as like that intuitive, subtle communication expanding. And then as life is always communicating with you, you are that wholeness interacting with life and transformation begins to build through the collective like that. Now, the intention that I was given for this month is I am being the change. How beautiful is that? I am being the change. Bringing that into the present moment, into your information field and amplifying that so that you are experiencing more of your own state of being. And as you do that, you're transforming the information of life that is constantly connecting to you. And I would recommend repeating this throughout the day, even as you're doing mundane things like grocery shopping or something, so that you continue to become consciously aware of how your information is filling this realm with the power of love. And please leave a comment below of the information that you would like to radiate into this realm with your beautiful, powerful state of being the change. I hope you have a very happy new year and enjoy the crystalline soul healing and light language.
Brahmam an ormem sharut oam. Brahmam en jonanan erot o korat akraim. Bro aniat ananen such amjeruk rot antiakrel renend. Brar num hastairet ersum jam or kranat ham. Bram en sharat air or ada kulal ganat erot or so oam. ham jorat gred ani cherut tursane det oram. Pram ham krorestere tet sochon orand enen mnar krat at il renoho oam. Brema ho oa ster utsuk ram tet bran hini at suye shor je klel korma so. Prom ham steirot sukureret anen tananat such kriet ani hamad brema sonon shorot koret I am. Turet ima. Kronot ansacharat ayak rondat pran radat il rnonot sum sham krandat iret akreret ham na. Samashayanot kroret andiat bram tiret sancharat al renan durit krandat hatshur ansachamot tam randat krem hat ensochut prem hatiet san nenet urak akrel renanhet prem hat uret setcharat krem tatsin tan el rnot prorat hani irat kayaratan koaratam sam shayarumat Samakora tatinat rumat iratat enan nam ormat terot sochan darantat in kroremat nun habsam sharat in terot krema at num harupt stur etzal ernenet krorema huam sukka huam kashumat it irut Kremant nun soch krar klal rananat sum steirumat marut kurma kem steirat kam suk orund kam doret in shan ut branat sut shar ut kania sum so shairut kam kroermet inin soch branat sut ne harakrieret an doormet shairut sakrad tianat porat al rekreat anat sanche